Hello all, welcome to R&D Labs with me Rohan, and in today's tutorial we'll see how to add a filter to your SQLite query in your Swift project. This video is a continuation of my previous video where I had created a SQLite database and created some tables in it. So if you haven't checked that video out, please do check that video. I've added the link in the description box below. So how do we add a filter to your SQLite query? Let's check that out. So before we head into the tutorial, let's quickly recap on what we have done. We ended up with a UI like this where we were able to insert the record into our SQLite database using two text fields that we have added, and on a click of the insert button we were able to add this into our SQLite table in our SQLite database. So, and how did we add the database? We created a SQLite database by the name test, and we had created a table by the name temp which had two columns, namely temp column 1 and temp column 2. So I highly recommend you to check this video out. I've elaborately explained on how to create a SQLite database, how to create a SQLite table, how to insert the record into your table, how to select a record. So you can check this video out. I have added the link to the video in the description box. So let's quickly get on to what we are doing in this tutorial. We'll be adding a filter to filter your SQLite data. In order to do this, we will quickly rearrange the controls so that we are making more room for our filters to be added. So what we are going to do here is we are going to add a filter for like operator. We are going to add a filter for equal to and not equal to. Okay, so let's make room for adding the new controls. Now let's add a text field for filtration, and we'll add one more. We'll add a button to filter it. Let's say insert, I'll just retext it to like, and I'll set the placeholder for this. Let's say temp column 1 like. Okay, so that it's not mistaken for anything else. Temp column 2 like. Okay, all right, and as I said, we'll be adding an equal to and not equal to filters as well, so we'll just quickly add them both. Alright, so we have added 6 text fields. So 2 for like filtration, 2 for equal to, and 2 for not equal to. So why have we done this? It's just because I just wanted to show you how do we filter it with multiple columns. Since we have 2 columns in the insert statement, we are able to retrieve it in our previous demo as we had seen. So I would like to add a filter. So now let's add the outlets. Let's bring up my assistant editor. So let's add the action for the buttons. Yes, so we have let's check what we have here. We have got 6 text fields and we have 3 actions for the buttons. So let's arrange our code a bit. We'll take it down here. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we are going to create a variable to format the value that is entered in the temp column 1 like text field. So let's quickly create a variable, say let uh, text field like parameter is equal to we'll give it type string and we will set the format to it, this one, yes, and we will add just count this, it should be 5 percentage signs over there. So let's give it a format, sorry, yeah, and we will give this as text field 1 like dot text and exclamation. Okay, so let's see how does this look like. Let's say print text field 1 like parameter. Yes, this is the one. Okay, let's see how does this look like. I will say as you can see, it is adding percentages to the beginning and the end of the text. Now using this we will try to add the SQLite query to fetch the data. So let's add our select statement. Let's say let get data is equal to, and again we will add a string format to it, say string format, and we'll specify the format, we'll specify the SQL query within the argument, say select temp column 1 temp column 2 from temp, where we have temp column 1 like, and over here we can use 2 single quotes and we can specify the percentage sign over there. We can use string interpolation to concatenate, to add our the value into the string. So let's say text field like parameter, yes, I think this is a 1, and we can delete the rest of the things. Okay, let's see how does this look too. So let's print it as and see print get data. We'll run. Okay, we will execute. All right, so you have added the string into the select query. So this is how the select query would look like using the like operator. Now let's quickly write our query to complete it. Let's create our opaque pointer, select like statement query, and we will have a type as opaque pointer, and say var let's say s show data string. So we will try to follow what we have done in the past tutorial, where we are going to concatenate the returned data into this variable. So if you haven't checked that video, again I'm just repeating myself, you can go and check that video on how we have done that. So what we would do is we would actually get the data which is returned using the select query into this variable. So let's write our select SQLite prepare statement. So if SQLite 3 underscore prepare v2. Okay, let's give our database opaque pointer variable, which is dbq, and we will specify our SQL query here, which is get data, and specify -1. We'll specify the we'll specify the opaque pointer, which is select like statement query. Yes, this is the one, and we will specify nil to the last parameter, and we will check if the SQL query is okay or not. So how do we do it? Let's SQLite underscore okay. There you go. We'll open up the curly braces. In the while statement, we will say SQLite 3 underscore step, and we will specify the opaque pointer variable to the select query, which is select like statement query, and we'll specify this as is equal to row SQLite row. So if there are any rows within the data set returned from after running this query, then only the while loop will run. So this is the purpose for this particular line of code. So if you don't have anything, then it will just simply escape the while loop. Okay. Why is this error here? It is because we haven't added a question mark to the end. Okay, so if you have data returned, so let us add to our show data variable. Let's say s show data plus equal to string. Okay, so whatever value show data has, the purpose of plus is equal to is to append the data into s show data with whatever data it has. So so we will say string string. Okay, and we have so we have SQLite 3 column text. Yes, that's the one, and we will add the select statement, select like statement query, and with a column of 0 in index. Okay, and we will close the string parameter. We will add 2 tabs just to format the look of our text which is returned, and this is similar to what we have done in the past tutorial. So, and we will copy this line entirely so that we are conscious of time, and we will add the second column index. So the 0th column index is temp column 1, and the first column index is temp column 2. Okay, so as we did in a previous tutorial, we will just break the line over here by using a /n operator. So let's add /n to it, and you have formatted your data properly. Okay, and now what have we forgotten? We have forgotten to add a finalize statement. I had stressed to add it in the previous tutorial as well. So let's add a SQLite 3 underscore finalize statement, and let's add select like statement query to it as a parameter. And then what? Then we have to add the value of s show data to our text view. So we have a text view already created earlier. So let's say text view dot text is equal to s show data, and we will give it an optional value as well as nothing. Okay, and there is one more step that we wanted to do, is like we'll set s show data with some value so that we don't run into errors like we did in the last tutorial. So I think it pretty much looks okay to me. Let's fire this up now and see what we have. Okay, so I don't remember the values that I entered, so let's insert it and see what we have in the database. We have this number of values, so let's filter by the name John. Okay, and we will just write JO to it and see what we have. There you go, we have filtered it by the character J and O, and the SQLite has returned John to us. So we can play around with this. We can add and remove the percentage sign in the beginning as well as in the end and see how does this fare up. It's up to you. So you can refer this tutorial and see how you can play around with the SQLite like parameter. Alright, so now let's go on to the equal operator as well, and we will try to copy what we have written on top so that we don't add up time to our tutorial. So this is not actually going to work as what we had written for the like operator. Over here we will have to use an equal to operator, which is like this, and we'll have to do away with the percentage symbols and also the formatting for the text field, and we'll just get rid of the extra code. First we will just format the text. Okay, and the select statement is okay. Select temp column 1, temp column 2 from temp, where temp column 1 is equal to, here we will add text field 1 equal to dot text, and let's give it an optional value as well, and also add and to it, which will signify that we are adding another filter to it for temp column 2. So let's add the string interpolation as well. So let's say text field 2 equals, here it is, dot text, and then we will give the optional value as well to it. This is how so okay, now we have added a select statement to it and it looks okay to me. Let's rephrase this, let's rename it to something else. So pick pointer, there you go. I'm just adding it, so let's rename this as well. Okay, and this as well. So wherever we have we have copied the text from the like method, we'll just add we'll just rename it accordingly. So I think this is okay as well to me. And similarly, let's do this for the not equal to. So how do you add a not equal to operator to your SQLite query? You actually use a less than and greater than symbols together to add a not equal to constraint to your SQLite query. So we'll do that first to both our filters for temp column 1 and temp column 2. I've seen people using exclamation and equal to. This is also fairly okay to me, but I prefer using a less than and greater than in my SQL queries. And here we'll have to change the text field reference, which is not equal to, this is the one, and similarly we will have to use text field to not equal to as well over here. Okay, this looks okay to me. Let's quickly fire up the code and check. Okay, now if you have noticed, we don't have much data here to see at the beginning of the code, but since we are using like operators, it is a wildcard search after all. So if you haven't entered anything, just simply click like and I think it should be showing up as we are seeing over here. This is the beauty of using wildcard operators. So, and we had added percentage in the beginning as well as in the end. So it just matched and pulled out the data for us. Okay, now let's test the equal to and not equal to. And to begin with, let's say John, and we'll say Doe to it in the text field too. And yes, it has returned the value to me. Let's clear this value out. We'll use a like operator again. And let's see if we are able to set the not equal to as well to the filter. So test and testing, and we click not equal to. It should ideally return everything apart from testing, test and testing. There it is.
So this is how you actually filter your SQLite query in your Swift project. You have to use operators. I hope you liked this video. If you have any doubts, please reach out to me in the comment section. Please like and subscribe the channel. See you until next time. Cheers.